address the challenges that many companies are facing these days around product development and the manufacturing process. Today we know there are many issues of bringing a product to market, and success requires on many factors: good collaboration, good governance, quality of products, reducing complexity, making sure you have the right support, and eventual integration into your other IT applications. My name is Bob Tebow. I'm the Director of Business Development for Barry-Wehmiller International, BWIR's PLM group. And I welcome you to this event, and hopefully you will find it interesting, and as we continue with this series, kind of address the burning issues that manufacturers have. Today our focus is going to be really around the Windchill product review, particularly around version 10.2. Our agenda will focus on really three short things. We'll talk about the goal of the webcast. We'll talk about Windchill 10.2 review, and then we'll have a Q&A and a wrap-up. BWIR is a global leader providing business and technology products and solutions to the manufacturing domain, and really through the power of our inspired people that work in our company. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're an American-owned company headquartered in St. Louis, worldwide operations. We've been in business over 129 years. Going too quick. We have more than 1,000 consultants globally, 300 based in India with broad-based industry experience. Okay, this is not going too good. Okay, sorry for this. We really do have a lot of value add and in-depth understanding of our PLM, ERP, and PD implementations truly make us unique. But at the end of the day, we're about trying to solve the key business goals that everybody has. We're trying to increase revenue. We're trying to reduce product costs. And obviously, we're trying to reduce the risk of products getting to market bad or having problems. The solution for most of these things, as we know, is a very good PLM system. Slow this down, sorry. Okay. Okay, and I'm very sorry for that. I think I've got it under control now. Okay, I can't slow this down. Sorry. Okay. What I'm going to do at this point is talk a little bit about what we're doing. I'm sorry, I just can't slow this down.
Hey, Bob, you should be able to hit pause on your slideshow by right-clicking it, and then you can just hit page down on it.
Okay. Okay. I think we can tab through this. All right. Okay.
Hey, Mike, do you want to go ahead and show your screen, and then we can get back to this afterwards?
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so let me get started here. So just a quick introduction of myself. There we go. Just a quick introduction of myself. I'm Mike Distler. I'm at PTC, and I'm the Windchill Product Marketing Director here. I'm very pleased to spend a little bit of time this afternoon or this morning talking to you about Windchill 10.2. In case you're not aware, Windchill 10.2 is available. It was released a couple weeks ago. It's got some great new capabilities in it, and If you're not on it, aware of it yet, I hope you check it out soon. I wanted to, before I talk about 10.2, I did want to talk a little bit about the Windchill 10 adoption. My understanding is that a number of you on the call may be on earlier releases of Windchill. So just want to talk a little bit about how we're progressing on our customers moving to Windchill 10, and then talk about some of the great new enhancements in 10.2. So hopefully what you'll see on this screen here is there's a wide variety of customers that have made the move to Windchill 10. There are large customers, small customers, a lot of different industries, a lot of different regions of the world. Really, we've had a number of customers already make the move to Windchill 10, and we can see that in some of the data that we're collecting. One of the ways we track our customer usage is on global support user activity. And you can see on the screen here for what we call direct is our larger customers, channel is our smaller customers. In both cases, you can see that Windchill 10 is now the dominant release. And we've done some other surveys too that really agree with these results here. So Windchill 10 is now being used by the majority of our users. And we hope if you're not on Windchill 10 yet that you will make the move. One of the things we have heard from our customers who have made the move to Windchill 10 is that the upgrade is definitely much better than previous upgrade experiences. It's taking less time, it's taking less cost, it's taking less resources. Overall, it is a much better move. And this is a webcast that we did with 2 customers. We did it a little while back, but I think it's still relevant. A replay of this webcast is available on PTC.com. And you can just see some of the quotes here that talk about just some of the ways that the upgrade experience was much better. And probably one of my favorite parts of the webcast was one of our customers, there we go, giving some data about how much better the upgrade experience was. That's not a, or that's a real line. It happens to be a straight line, but just showing you an idea about how much less time the project took versus previous upgrades. The actual upgrade of the database itself, how much less time that took. The number of external resources in terms of the amount of training and consulting and any hardware, software, again, much less than previous releases. And finally, the actual internal resources, again, much less. So again, if you are on an earlier release of Windchill, I would definitely encourage you to upgrade. I think there's really never been a better time to make the move. So let's talk a little about Windchill 10.2. I think really our strategy here has been to really build upon the really very large improvements and enhancements made in Windchill 10.0. Just a quick reminder, Windchill 10.0 came out about 2.5 years ago. And if you recall, there really are some very significant changes to 10.0, a whole new user experience, a lot of new modules being introduced, a lot of great capabilities. It was a very substantial release. And our strategy has really been to build on that with smaller releases. So 10.1 was a smaller upgrade. It was a smaller number of capabilities versus 10.0. And the same is true with 10.2. There's some great new capabilities here, but relatively to 10.0, it is a smaller release. So if you've already made the jump to Windchill 10.0, I think you'll find that upgrading to 10.2 is a much smaller effort. We've been using kind of as our theme to talk about Windchill 10 and the capabilities in Windchill 10, this idea of do more, know more, and get more. Do more, what I'm talking about there is doing more with the product configurations, doing more with the various structures and more capabilities around the processes in terms of as the structure changes from the initial design through to manufacturing. No more. What I'm talking about there is with your product performance, understanding it from an analysis, from a quality point of view, from a compliance point of view, understanding what the performance of the product is. And finally, get more in terms of getting more value from PLM, getting more value in terms of the user experience, getting more value in terms of the kind of behind the scenes, in terms of the system administration of running the system, being able to get more value. So let's talk about first the do more around productivity. And even though, again, this is a point release, I think there's some pretty significant improvements. And one thing I just want to just talk about in general, I'm realizing there's not a slide on it, is the overall performance of Windchill 10.2. We have, again, 10.0 came out as a whole new user experience, a lot of big changes, and we've been working on improving the performance of the whole system. And I'm pleased to mention that 10.2, the performance is actually as fast as a much older version of Windchill 9.1, which was, if you keep in mind, a simpler type of structure. It was using an older Pro-E models, not the Creo models. So I think you'll find that 10.2 has some great performance enhancements versus some earlier releases. One of the areas that we focused on within 10.2 was a pretty commonly requested enhancement from customers, what we're calling the universal upload. Basically, this is just giving you more flexibility in managing your CAD data and uploading content. So you can see some examples here. You can upload locally modified, non-checked out content. Before you weren't able to do that. You can do save as with local modifications, and the smarts are there to handle situations if, for example, you have something with the same name. So it will handle those conflicts with flags and temporary numbering schemes. So you can really almost think of now as the server workspace is almost like a backup to what's in the client cache. We think, again, a number of customers have asked for this in the past, and hopefully they'll be excited to make use of this. Another area around detailed design or CAD data management, which is really probably one of the most common business processes that are used by our customers, is around third-party MCAD and ECAD tools. We certainly recognize that many of our customers are not just managing Creo data, but also data from other CAD tools. And so we've done a number of enhancements to help make that interaction even better. Streamline a number of the interactions for, as you can see, the majority of tools. We simplified access to SolidWorks data, so really it looks much more like a Windchill file system. It looks like files in a Windchill Explorer. The ECAD, we've made some significant improvements to the ECAD adapter. We've tried to simplify things. Certainly the ECAD designer is just the tools that they're using. It's just a different type of processes, different type of capabilities, enhancements they need. And we really try to tailor the ECAD-related UI for those ECAD users. There's different scenarios they have to work with. There's more files they have to work with. So we've tried to make it much more applicable to the ECAD user. And then there is an initial release of our integration with CATIA v6, but that's, for the moment, just evaluation purposes. We're just working with a few customers kind of as a pilot operation, and from later on we'll expand to have it fully available. Also around do more and change management, one of the areas we think will help is the idea of change notice templates. So if you are having a pretty repeatable type of change activity, having a template available, I think, is certainly going to help make people be more productive. It's going to definitely help improve quality. Certainly less clicking, less typing, less input. There's less potential for error. And just some example screenshots here of showing the change notice templates. So that was part of, for the most part, part of the core part of Windchill, the PDM link. Some of you may be familiar with our PartsLink module, and this had a major rewrite for Windchill 10.2. The PartsLink module is now integral to Windchill. Previously, it was a separate server that was being used. Now that's gone away. It's now using the same core server as the other parts of Windchill, such as PDM-Link. So, for example, common components such as the type manager, the indexing engine, PartsLink is now using the same thing. I do want to, this question's been asked in the past about this. PartsLink is still a separate module. It's still an optional module that you do have to pay for. But it just from an architectural point of view, it's much simpler now to install and maintain. So again, from an installation point of view, it's the same executable. We've made some improvements around the administration to set up new classifications and the whole layout and structure of classifications. Made a number of enhancements there. So if you're running this type of PartsLink environment, I think you'll find a number of great improvements. And by the way, if you are an existing PartsLink customer, you can upgrade seamlessly. So from a partner-supplier collaboration point of view, we made some significant expansions there. We had this idea of exporting what we call packages. Maybe a simple way to think about that is kind of like a big zip file filled with all types of content and data for a particular product. Now, in previous releases, we had a you could export the package, and what we've added on in Windchill 10.2 is now the capability to import. So you can now both import and export packages between systems. So maybe it's between different Windchill systems in different plants, or maybe it's between yourself and a supplier. Now that information can be passed very easily back and forth. Another area is around manufacturing process management. There's been a number of changes here. From a technical point of view, we've eliminated there are these applets beforehand. So when you decide to do some manufacturing process management activities, a separate window would pop up, and certainly there were some performance issues with that. So that's been eliminated. We're now using a HTML environment, and we've actually tried to make it a much more visual environment. You can see an example here on this screen. This is defining the process plan, the routing for a particular product, and you can actually kind of visually define the steps, how this assembly is being put together. So you literally drag a particular component or subassembly from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen in the order you want that manufacturing assembly to be assembled. And so you can visually see the manufacturing assembly build up on the right and visually see the remaining components on the left side disappearing. So it really makes it a nice visual way to define the process plan. I should mention just on the MPM-Link module, this capability, actually some of it was available in the initial release, but more is available in a maintenance release of 10.2, which is coming towards the end of the year. I'll talk about that a little later. So just about everything I talk about is available now. This is just one of the few exceptions that will be available in a few months. Okay, so that was on the kind of do more side, again, about the configurations and structures, and hopefully you get a sense there is a lot of new capabilities in 10.2. Now I want to talk about what we call no more. So this is more focused on our quality tools, our product analytic tools, where really you can get a better idea about understanding how your product's doing in terms of various regulations, quality targets, things of that nature. There is one big new module coming out with 10.2, and it's focused on a very particular need. So if you're a medical device manufacturer, you're probably aware about a new FDA regulation on unique device identification, or UDI. So this is a new regulation. In case you haven't heard, the FDA finalized this regulation. So all medical device manufacturers now have a deadline of next September 24th, 2014. They must be able to submit to the FDA about their UDIs, these unique identifiers. And we are happy to introduce a solution that can meet that need. So really, this is going to handle the whole submission process, being able to have one single source to handle the collection, the editing, the reviewing, the submission, the responses from the FDA, any changes, monitoring, reporting. All that is within this UDI module. And so I think we worked actually very closely with a number of not only medical device manufacturers to develop this module, but we actually already worked with the FDA to develop this. So we've really had a lot of obviously great insight and expertise in coming up with this module here. So again, medical device companies, I'm sure you're aware of this, but the UDI module I think will be of great benefit to you. So on the keeping on the quality theme, there's a number of other enhancements around our quality products. One area is around what we call quality-driven change management. So if you think about it, in the quality tools, there are a number of ways to identify problems. And there, within Core Windchill, there's a way to identify problems and get engineering changes associated with those problems. But there really wasn't a connection between the two. And so in 10.2 now, in the number of quality modules, there will be now one centralized area where you can define problems and collect and manage any problems that have been identified. So maybe one was via fracas, or maybe one was via FMEA. Now all those problems are gathered together in one place. And then you can actually, there's now a connection to our engineering changes within kind of Core Windchill, within the change management capabilities. So now the problems that have been identified through our quality modules can seamlessly be tied into engineering change notices within Windchill. So really trying to make that, closes that loop between quality and engineering. So we think there's going to be a lot of great benefits here. Other quality new capabilities, a number of things around risk assessment, risk management, so to better assess risk. As you can see here, a number of kind of very nice visual tools in terms of understanding risk in terms of various matrices. There's a number of enhanced industry standards for the automotive and commercial aerospace area. So a number of, again, new quality enhancements. So that's on the quality side. Let's talk about more the product analytics or compliance area. So this is understanding the materials and substances and composites that are within your products, and then making sure they meet the various government regulations out there. And there just seem to be more and more regulations out there in terms of hazardous materials, recyclable materials to keep track of. This capabilities on this slide we're talking about here is understanding the substances that are associated with various materials. So understanding, really having that central database to understand the substances, what substances are used in various materials, what materials will go in various parts. So really it's kind of like a sort of a can be used in two different ways. One is from a kind of bottoms-up type of regulatory point of view. Okay, I know I have these type of materials. What type of materials can I use based on various regulations? But you can also now kind of do more of a top-down strategy. So now you can say, okay, I want to make these parts. These are the parts I want to use within my particular product. And from there, filter down and understand what are the materials associated with that part. So kind of one way is looking at the materials and going up into the parts. Another is the parts looking down at the materials. And we can handle both of that within Windchill. Another area in terms of analyzing your product and various components is not just from a materials point of view, but from a cost point of view. When I add up all the different costs of the various components, do I meet my overall cost target? There's some enhancements here around more analysis capabilities. In a previous release, we did add the ability to understand multiple currencies, but now we can add in different currency rates, so you can see about how your product will change in terms of its overall cost, in terms of whether the currencies go up or down. There's some more variation tools and some more cost comments that you can add to cost type material. I should mention this is another area that is coming out in January. So again, just about everything I've talked about is available today. This is just, I think, the only other exception that will be coming out in the January timeframe. One last area around materials and product analytics is around conflict minerals. If you're in the electronics industry or related industries, you're probably familiar with this. So again, this is the idea that if you are a publicly traded company, or if you provide materials, components to a publicly traded company, you have to define whether any of your parts have what are called these conflict minerals. And these are what's called the 3TG, tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold. And you need to be able to prove that whether these materials came from the area of Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, or related areas. So there's a whole bunch of reporting that's required by the U.S. government around this to prove that all these materials are conflict-free. And we have a module just focused on this area. Probably aware there's a deadline to get this information to the government. End of May is the first deadline for this. So we have our conflict mineral solution, I think, is a great answer to meet this need. And I should point out, by the way, you see on the screen here, both the GESI or the IPC 1752, we can handle both of those standards. So defining it more from the material level as well as from the supplier level. Okay, so now moving on to Get More. So again, Get More is talking about getting more value, and getting more value in terms of getting more productivity from the user point of view, in terms of the user interface and how productive the user can be, and getting more value from the system administrator, from the overall cost of running a system. And there's been a number of new enhancements within 10.2. One area is around what we call the Relationship Explorer. If you're familiar with what came out in 10.1, one new capability was this Relationship Explorer, which is, I call it basically sort of like a visual flow chart. So you can visually see the various objects, components, visually see how they're related to each other, understand those relationships. We've gotten very well received by our customers, and we basically expanded its capabilities in 10.2. So now there's more objects that you can see within the Relationship Explorer. For example, here, change actions, promotion requests. There's some more manufacturing-related objects that you can see. And we've expanded it to use that our Integrity product can use it. So if you just recall, Integrity is now our tool at PTC to manage requirements. And so now you can see the relationship between requirements that are defined in PTC Integrity and the various components and products within Windchill that relate to those requirements. There's a nice new toolbar. See on the bottom of the screen here, example of the toolbar. So this makes it a nice, easy way to understand the different capabilities of the Relationship Explorer. Another area around getting more value is around working with Windchill from the Microsoft Windows environment. This is a tool that I think some users aren't aware of. You can access Windchill folders, Windchill projects, etc., from Microsoft Windows. There's a free little download executable that you download from the Windows browser, installs on your desktop or laptop. And now, essentially, the Windchill folders are now look like another folder in your desktop. You just kind of click through, and instead of looking at your disk C or drive D, you're now looking at Windchill. And you can not only look at folders, you can actually check in and check out documents. You can now drag and drop content. So just grab that Word document and drag it into the folder, and it checks it in. Really makes it very, very easy to manage Microsoft documents in Windchill. And just some more capabilities have been added in 10.2. So if you right mouse click on a document in Windows, actually the Windchill actions will now appear. You can do some nice comparison of Windchill documents within the Windows environment. And we've, of course, upgraded our support to support the latest releases of Office and Windows. So now looking at kind of the back end of Windchill, we continue to invest in really the system administrator side of Windchill. Again, just a reminder, one of the ways we've invested in Windchill is the overall performance. Performance has definitely been improved in 10.2, and a number of new tools from the system administrator point of view are now available in 10.2. Rehosting tools. So this is hopefully all your customers out there are having multiple environments, multiple versions of Windchill. So you have one instance of Windchill that's maybe your test environment, another Windchill instance that is your production environment. I know many cases where customers maybe have another instance for training, another instance for maybe other types of development work, and actually copying and cloning these environments from one to the other. So maybe you're done your testing, you want to make that test environment the production environment. There's a number of steps to that, but we've added a tool to really help streamline that cloning, creating the training environment, changing from a test environment to production environment. And a number of additional capabilities have been added to that cloning tool. Hopefully you're familiar with something called the PTC System Monitor. This is a free system analysis tool that's available to all Windchill customers. It became available about a year or two ago. It actually works with any Windchill system starting with Windchill 9.1 up till 10.2, and it's a great tool to really monitor the system kind of in the background, all sorts of various system resources in terms of RAM and various usage of processes and stuff like that. And we've actually had some great customer examples where it's sort of like an early warning system. They found out about a problem even before the users found out about the problem and were able to fix it before it became to be a big issue. So we continue to add and invest in the System Monitor tool. As you can see, a number of enhancements around the dashboard and various transactions and monitoring tools. And again, this is available for free to any customer. Just download it off of our software download site. And then some more, I guess I'd say some more advanced capabilities. So for more advanced customer installations in terms of clustering type support. The bulk data migration tool, this is available to customers that are maybe trying to migrate some legacy data into Windchill, and then some additional screen tailoring capabilities. Now, I talked about the upgrade before and how many customers upgrade, and they've talked about how that the upgrade is much simpler and easier than previous upgrades. But we continue to invest in the upgrade. And one area, as you can see here, is we've made an effort to reduce the number of manual upgrade steps. And please say that in 10.2 there are now no manual upgrade steps. It's now all automated. We've tried to reduce the project duration with a run-to-completion mode. So now if there's an error, we'll try and just kind of make a note of that error, but kind of continue forward and continue some other upgrade steps if possible. And we've also made a big effort to validate our upgrade against real customer databases. And we've been very fortunate that a number of customers have contributed their database to us. And we essentially run and test the upgrade against these real customer databases. And 10.2 is probably the most robust upgrade tool yet because we got even more customer databases. I believe we had close to 20 customer databases. And of course, there's different sizes, different industries that we're able to test against. We found a couple of issues, but the good thing is we found them within our lab, and we're able to resolve and fix those issues before we release the product. So I really think the upgrade tool is even better than ever. And now this is another big change that happened within the 10.2 release, that we're changing a little bit the way there are maintenance releases and product fixes coming out. Starting with 10.2, and I just want to emphasize this is only for 10.2 and higher, so this doesn't affect you if you have 10.0 or 10.1 or 9.1. But starting with 10.2, we're now going to go in a regular cycle of releasing what we're calling CPSs, or critical patch sets, every 30 days. Now, these are essentially just customer fixes. There's no features in there. There's no new capabilities. It's just trying to focus on getting those any significant fixes and making it a very streamlined and simple process to update the latest fixes onto your system. So every month, 10.2 came out a couple weeks ago, so we're already working on the first critical patch set. It will come out, like I said, every 30 days. And so we're really trying to get people on a regular schedule to use these critical patch sets. In addition, there will be maintenance releases, but we're really trying to limit those maintenance releases. So there's only a plan to be 2 for 10.2, and again, all the fixes and stuff like that will be in the CPSs. We do feel this is going to help our customers really kind of improve their overall performance and quality, since they can hopefully get these critical patch sets installed very quickly and easily. I think this does align with industry best practices. I believe there's a number of other major enterprise software vendors that also do the same type of monthly fixes. And just to give you an example here, just to how it'll go. So 10.2 F000, which was called the initial release of Windchill 10.2, there will be these patch sets coming out every month. But that's going to stop once M10 comes out. We'll be kind of switching over and having just critical patch sets on the M10 release. And then for 10.2 M20, we'll be switching to critical patch sets there. So it is something to keep in mind that if you are planning to upgrade to 10.2, the initial release F000, or to 10.2 M10, you should put in your plans that at some point you are going to want to upgrade to the M20 release. Because as you can see in this graphic here, that's where the fixes, critical patch sets, will continue to be released against. It will be against the M20 release. At a certain point, we are going to stop these critical patch sets against the earlier releases of 10.2. So again, this is only for 10.2 and going forward. If you're 10.0 or 10.1, it will remain as is. If you're looking for more information about these critical patch sets, there is a pretty extensive FAQ and notice on the support page of PTC.com, so please go there to check more information about this new maintenance release model. Okay, so just to summarize here, I just want to kind of summarize, we talk a lot about a number of processes and solutions here at PTC, and hopefully you've seen there's a number of great capabilities that really relate to a number of processes and solutions. So detailed design, CAD data management, partner collaboration with the packages, new change configuration management features such as the change notice templates, the very nice graphical manufacturing or MPM link type capabilities for manufacturing process management. I didn't have a chance to talk about it here, but there are some capabilities in project planning. if you are up to the latest version of 10.1, these releases actually got released in a maintenance release of 10.1, some new Gantt chart and some other capabilities around project management. Talked about the new parts link module, the re-architectured parts link module that's using the same server as core Windchill. A number of great product analytic capabilities. So this is around the conflict minerals and materials and substances. And quality. Talked about quality in terms of the UDI module and quality-driven change management, some other quality capabilities. And then finally, didn't have a chance to talk about this, but there is, for our customers that are in the field service area, there is some new Windchill modules to support our service information, technical information capabilities. So I just wanted to, before we go to questions, I just did want to point out, if you're looking for more information about not only Windchill 10, but Windchill 10.2, one resource to keep in mind is on PTC.com. We have recently released, we tried to consolidate together all the information we have around Windchill 10 and upgrading to Windchill 10 in one place, what we call the Upgrade Center. And you can see this URL on the screen, ptc.com/go/Windchill 10. That's a quick, easy way to get to this page. And you can see here there's information about learning more about Windchill 10. So this is where we're going to have information about what's in 10.2. Reasons to move. We'll have some information about upgrading. This is where we have the video, that webcast that I talked about early in this presentation, and tools about getting started. There's some great links there to some other pages. In particular, this upgrade and migration resource page, which has a lot of great detailed information and documentation about how to get through the upgrade process. Links to free tutorials and other learning tools, videos, collateral, so a lot of great information about Windchill 10 at this site here. And that is all the information I wanted to go about here. So I just did want to bring up...
Do you want to go ahead and go through a couple of questions and we'll pass it back over to Bob?
Yep. So I did just want to put up, while we're talking about questions, many times I get, what's compatible with what. So I just thought I'd leave this up on the screen just in case I know I know many people ask about this. So sure, let's talk about some questions.
All right. Does it support Windows 8.1?
To support Windows 8.1, I don't think the initial release does. I believe that's coming out in maintenance release, but I would have to double check. Certainly if you go to our website and go to any of the product pages and look at system support, you click there, it'll give you a link to the latest versions that we support. But I don't think 8.1 made it in the initial release of 10.2.
Does the ECAD include AutoCAD electrical project integration?
That does not, again, we can check on that. That does not ring a bell. I know there's some other PCB stuff that recently got I'm sorry, some printed circuit board type tools, which I apologize, name escaped me at the moment, but that one does not ring a bell. But again, I can check on that further.
All right, then is it also if we send the slides in PDF format to some of the attendees, just so they happen to show up for management? Can you send them over to us and we'll forward them on?
Right, I'm sorry, those question? Or
is it okay if we pass the slides along so they can show management that you presented today?
Yeah, I'll make a PDF version of this available, yes.
Will Windchill 10.2 support management of CATIA V5R18?
Again, I'm not familiar with unfortunately, I know it obviously supports V5. I'm not sure about the particular kind of maintenance releases of R18.
Right, get back to the rest of the technical questions while the technical staff will come over. A lot of these are more technical side.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bob, do you want to go ahead and finish up?
Sure. I will. Mike, thanks very much for...
Go ahead and show your screen.
Excuse me? Show my screen? Okay. Mike, thanks very much for a really good update on the product. I think a world-class product is only getting better. I think, a fine product like this is supplemented by PTC's value roadmap, which really is a process of aligning business values to technical discussions to realize the value. More information about that process can be found also on PTC.com. But one such example that's identified through this is a set of engineering value drivers, as an example. All of us are concerned about reducing the time to market. We're concerned about how we accelerate product innovation and really create market-winning products. We'd like to improve product quality. We want to improve global product development. We want to reduce product development costs, make our products more cost competitive. Obviously, we want to reduce product costs. We want to streamline regulatory compliance and reduce product risk. That ties more into the product analytics that Mike was alluding to on earlier slides. And really, at the end of the day, Barry-Wehmiller really does have the people, the process, the technology really to provide your total solutions. And when you look at how our organization is structured, I will tap through this pretty quick. We have 3 core offerings. We have an enterprise consulting organization. We have the PTC product group and PLM solutions that we focused on today, as well as an engineering service organizations, all which have a very broad set of applications and services that we can provide to your organization to ensure a successful product development scenario. So I would like to thank everybody that participated in the call. If you would like more information, please contact myself at this email address or any one of our account managers that were on the initial invite. You can reach us at plmsales@bwir.com. And I apologize for the operator errors earlier in the program, but I think we did focus on what we wanted to cover, and that was the great products and features in Windchill 10.2. My thanks go out again to Mike Distler for his efforts and time today, and also my thoughts and thanks go out to you guys. And please call us so we can help be your trusted partner. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing us in 1 month on our continued series of PLM webcasts. Thank you.